Hi guys, so at the moment the Tories are trying to play the tougher than UKIP game with their voters and supporters. The idea that they can out-racist the racists. In order to keep Reform UK, UKIP and other extreme parties from luring away voters, the Conservatives moved to the right on issues like immigration and refugees. So one issue that has been brought up by people like the Home Secretary Priti Patel is that of offshoring, where asylum seekers are sent to another country for processing. This has been condemned by the opposition and charities representing refugees, but it's also been criticised by Tory MP Andrew Mitchell, but for a different reason.
No other country is going to agree to it in its current form, and so that's why the government said that they were considering Ascension Islands. Well, if you look at Ascension Islands from Google Earth, you'll see there's no infrastructure on Ascension Islands, and you'd have to sort of build a Guantanamo Bay to contain them. It would be unbelievably expensive, as the Australian example suggests, who've actually done this, and actually it would be cheaper to put all the asylum seekers in the Ritz and give them half board and lodging and an extra meal a day and a bottle of champagne every day of the year, and send their children to Eton than to do what the government would like to do from offshoring. So I think it's a mistake. It's incredibly expensive. It's the wrong thing to do. And also, I remember, I've been around so long, I remember being a junior PPS in the Foreign Office in 1988-89, when we had to struggle with what we did with the Vietnamese boat people who were flooding into Hong Kong. And I remember how worried ministers were about scenes of having to force people onto airlines to get them to travel. And, you know, it simply wouldn't work. So let's not go down that route. Let's instead employ 100 or so more people, maybe more than 100, to process these claims, do it more quickly, and actually, yes, reform the appeal system so that lawyers who are over-enterprising can't fiddle with it in the way they sometimes do at the moment.
So he started off by saying, yeah, it's just too expensive. Didn't mention the humanitarian aspect of it, about, you know, the humanity of it. No, it's about the cost. It's too expensive. It would be cheaper to put refugees up in the Ritz Hotel and send their kids to Eton. I don't know who he's reaching out to there, but anyway. And then I thought when he said, yeah, we should actually process people in this country, we should hire more staff, I thought he was actually turning a corner. I thought, okay, this is going to be somebody who cares about the refugees. And then, of course, he talked about lawyers. And you've heard before how the Tories will attack refugee lawyers or left-wing lawyers, whatever they are. This idea that, yes, you know, there are people coming in and they're abusing the system and they're getting help from activist lawyers who want to keep these people in the country. They're finding loopholes in the law and stuff like this. Look, the law exists. If lawyers can find a way to use the law to protect people and not send them back to a place where they're going to risk their lives, then that's correct. You're using the law to protect people. If there's a loophole in the law, then it's the government's responsibility to close that loophole. But the problem with closing loopholes is that it runs into trouble where you're breaching international law, because the UK government has signed up many years ago, to UN conventions. So when the British government talk about, and Priti Patel in particular, talk about these lawyers abusing the law or twisting the law, what they're doing is they're applying conventions that the UK has signed up to. And I truly hope there isn't an appetite at the moment to undo some of that, in the sense of walking away from international agreements. We've heard before the Northern Ireland Secretary of State talking about breaking international law in a limited and specific way. But I truly hope there isn't an attempt to undo UN conventions, to break those, to walk away from them. Because that's probably what Priti Patel would like to do, but she doesn't have the power to do it yet. So this whole thing of offshoring is about, you know, I don't want the refugees in my backyard. It's an attempt to win over the racists and the bigots and say, look, we're not processing the refugees here. We're processing them far away. You're not going to see them. You're not going to see them when you go down to your local supermarket or when you go into the city centre. This is what they're trying to sell to the public. The racist bigots who vote for the likes of UKIP or the Reform Party. These are the people that the Conservatives are reaching out to at the moment. And they have to appear tough. They have to out-racist the racists, in a sense. And I don't know if it'll work. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.